Welcome to the Kids Kingdom. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon.
The sun had just started dipping behind the N3 friends. Ayan, Mina, and Rahil realized something was wrong. They were deep in the jungle now, farther than they had planned. What started as a simple weekend hike had turned into a silent panic. The narrow path they had followed for hours had disappeared behind thick bushes and strange tall trees they didn't recognize. "Are you sure this is the right way?" Mina asked, brushing a mosquito off her arm. Her voice was trembling slightly. Ayan, who was always the confident one, forced a smile. "Yeah. I think the trail must be somewhere nearby." But deep inside, his heart thudded. His phone showed no signal, and the GPS had frozen an hour ago. Rahil, the quietest among them, took off his backpack and pulled out a small compass. "We've been heading south since morning. If we keep going this way, we'll hit the river again. Maybe we can follow it back." It sounded logical, so they walked, first with hope, then with growing fear. The jungle grew darker and noisier. The cries of unseen birds echoed above. Twisting roots caught their shoes, and every shadow seemed alive. As night fell, the forest changed its face. The air turned cold and damp, and a mist crept along the ground. Mina shivered. "We should stop somewhere. It's dangerous to walk in the dark." They found a big tree with wide roots and decided to rest. Rahil gathered dry leaves, and Ayan struck 2 stones until a tiny spark lit a small fire. Its golden glow made them feel safe for the first time that evening. They sat close together. Mina hugged her knees and whispered, "I told my mom we'd be home by sunset. She must be worried." Ayan poked the fire, watching the sparks rise. "We'll be fine. Tomorrow morning we'll find our way." But that night felt endless. Strange noises filled the air, rustling leaves, distant howls, and sometimes soft footsteps that made their hearts race. Once, they thought they saw glowing eyes staring from behind a bush. Mina nearly screamed, but Rahil whispered, "It's just an animal, stay calm." When dawn finally broke, they were exhausted but alive. The morning light filtered through the trees like threads of gold. They decided to follow the sound of rushing water, hoping it would lead them out. Hours later, they reached a narrow river gliding between mossy rocks. They followed it downstream, sometimes crossing slippery stones, sometimes pushing through tall grass. By afternoon, they found something, a broken wooden sign covered in vines. Rahil wiped it clean. It read, "Nature Trail, entry point 3 kilometers. Mina gasped with relief. "We're close." But their joy didn't last long. The sky turned gray, and within minutes, rain poured down like a curtain. The trail became muddy and slippery. Ayan tried to lead the way, but he slipped and rolled down a small slope, splashing into the river. "Ayan!" Mina screamed. She and Rahil rushed down, their feet sliding. They grabbed his hand just as the current tried to pull him away. With trembling strength, they dragged him to the shore, soaking wet and gasping. They sat there, shivering, but laughing through their tears. "You idiot," Mina said, hitting Ayan's shoulder lightly. "You scared us." Ayan smiled weakly. "Guess I'll stop being the leader for a while." By evening, the rain stopped. They followed the muddy path again, and finally saw a wooden gate in the distance. Beyond it, a road and a small village shimmered in the sunset. When they reached it, an old man offered them warm tea and blankets. As they sipped, the 3 friends sat close, realizing how precious it felt just to be safe together again. Mina whispered, "I'll never forget this jungle." Rahil nodded. "Neither will I." Ayan smiled at both of them and said softly, "We went in as friends, and came out as family."